Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and I'm sitting here with Paula Rome, who is with Entergy. We were talking a little bit before the break about, of course, Hurricane Ida, the impacts that had, I guess the need to continue to plan ahead in the future. So one of the first things you think about is how can you strengthen what you currently have in place and what you're building in the future. And I know Entergy has made some efforts to go in that direction. Can you tell us, what all has been done?
Yes, sir. We're very excited to have in front of the Public Service Commission now what we call our Energy Future Ready Plan. We get a lot of questions about, after a storm, we have to go back and replace what's out there. And a lot of people ask, can't, even if the pole hasn't fallen, it's not going to sustain the next hurricane, can you just replace those? Well, the way we're regulated and set up, unfortunately, sometimes we can't do that. So what we have done is we have been studying Florida. Okay, and we know that after major hurricanes now, Florida gets up and running within more like 3 to 5 days instead of 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And so what Florida did about 10 years ago is their Florida State Public Service Commission instituted basically the plan that we have now. And so we call it our Future Ready Plan, and basically it's a plan to go in to our communities and strengthen the grid. And what that means is putting in poles that are rated for 150 mile per hour winds, wires that are rated for that kind of stuff, things that are going to harden the grid to stop things that are typically fall after a hurricane. So the price tag of that plan is for 10 years for $10 billion, and that's for the whole state. We have, just in Terrebonne Parish in that plan, about $500 million of projects. Really? Wow. And so, obviously, our Bayou communities are most hardest hit. So, Entergy is trying to do some public. Well, first of all, we hope that that plan gets approved by the Public Service Commission as it is. They may decide to give us, $5 billion for 5 years and see how it works out first. So we hope, and we're very hopeful that will get approved. But in the short term, we know that if we can have some public-private partnerships and go after maybe some federal money that way, because Entergy can't go after federal money. Mm-hmm. We're not able to do that. Then maybe we can take some money out of that plan and not have to go and put that, use that a different way. So we just recently applied for a BRIC grant through FEMA, that's Building Resiliency Infrastructure in Communities. Mm-hmm. And we applied for 2 of them for the Bayou community area. One is for Terrebonne Parish at a price tag of $49 million. And that would be, we took one of the most hard-hit areas that we needed the most hardening of, and that is the Montague community. And so we would spend $49 million in the Montague community if we win this grant to harden that grid. One of the reasons we picked that area, not only because they needed a lot of work, was because Terrebonne Parish has in the works to build that new Bayou Terrebonne floodgate and pump, and the grid for that area needed to be improved to make that pump working even better and bigger. So we worked with the parish to submit that grant. So we formed a great private-public partnership to do that. So if we get that, that means we can move forward with at least the hardening of that area. And we did the same thing. We applied with Lafourche Parish and Port Fourchon to go after a brick grant to harden the grid in the Port Fourchon area for the exact same reason.
Okay, and that's, is it simply, like you said, making those changes to the things that normally fail, like the telephone poles and things like that, that money would be used for?
Yes. And, I get asked all the time, can energy be more proactive than reactive?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just changing the poles once a storm hits. If you see that it's leaning too much, can we change more of that now if you know it's starting to rot and it's going to fall? This plan is the proactive plan instead of being reactive. Oh. And we didn't just make it up. We're studying Florida, and when they put that into place, their time after a storm to get rebuilt is a lot shorter than ours, and that is because they have done this already over the last 10 years.
Well, yeah, and it certainly makes sense. Do all the things that you can do now while you have the time.
Exactly.
Rather than, when time's really of the essence and you're dealing with all the other, things that you got to deal with at that time when so many resources are already stretched so thin.
And after a storm, we all know the price of everything is so much more as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of price, of course, that's always, the public out there main concern. My main concern as well is how can you lower your energy bill?
Right.
How can you lower I'm sure there's many tricks you can do, little things that add up. You got any advice for people out there?
Yeah. So, think of energy efficiency tips, okay? Anything you can do at your home to keep especially now we're coming close to summer, right? Mm-hmm. To keep the cold air in and the hot air out. So weather stripping your doors, your windows, even sometimes closing curtains, using ceiling fans during the day to keep your air condition higher. All of those kind of things do help. In the summertime, it's our air conditioner that pulls the most electricity, which makes our usage higher. And if you do come into a bind, I always tell everybody, don't wait until the due date is passed on your bill. Mm-hmm. Call Entergy, get on Entergy.com days beforehand, and we have a lot of options. We can do payment extensions, we can do payment plans, all kind of things to help you so you don't get behind on your bill. Once you get behind, it's a little bit harder to get caught up. So once you get there, we have a bunch of options to help you. You can pick a date. There's levelized billing. There's a whole bunch of things that we can help you better budget your bills.
All right. Well, we thank you very much, Paula, for coming on and giving us some great information.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.